All right, we'll try this again. So, what are those things called that I put around my facts for each one here? What are those things called? Everybody, do you remember? Parentheses. What are these called?
Parentheses.
Okay, and why do we put those around the facts 5 times 2 and 5 times 2? Why are those there?
Because we split 4 into 2.
Right, because we split that 4 into the 2 parts. Okay, so the 2 facts that you wrote down were what?
5 times 2.
And?
5 times 2.
Okay, everybody has that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't need to write it down because you did it for yourself. Okay, they're making us repeat this. So 5 times 4 equals, what did you split it up into? 5 times
2.
Jot it down. Plus 5 times
2.
Jot that down. Now, what are we going to do to solve this? We have 5 times 2 plus 5 times 2. Or do we just leave it? We're done. It's all good. No, we've got to solve it. So what do we need to do, Aim?
We need to figure out what 5 times 2 is and what that answer is. We need to plus the answer.
Do you agree with her?
Mm-hmm.
Do we need to figure out what 5 times 2 is?
Yeah.
Have we already done that?
Yeah.
And you told me it was?
10.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, so write that one down. Well then what's the other 5 times 2, everybody?
10.
Okay, so now do you have 10 plus 10?
Yes.
What does 10 plus 10 equal, everyone?
20.
Okay. Does my work look like your work?
Yeah.
Did I do it right?
Yeah.
Because I'm just going off of what you told me to do. Okay. All right, now look at the second modelet. I gotta get rid of that so I can go back up. All right, this is the modelet we're looking at now. Okay. What new multiplication equation is created by turning that array? So we turned it over, we flipped it on its side. This equation is 5 times 4. Now, what does this equation show us?
4.
Think about how many rows there are and how many are in each row. What's this multiplication equation going to be that we write right here for 3? Write it down. Look at that modelet picture if you need to. That's what they were just telling you to do, to look at the second one. So you're looking at this one now to help you write the multiplication equation. So count how many rows there are. That's your first factor. Count how many are in each row. That's your second factor. How many rows are there, Raymond? And then how many are in each row? Okay, what did you write for the, what are we on, 3? What did you write for the factors or that multiplication expression, excuse me. Everybody.
4 times 5.
Okay. How are these factors right here, how are they alike and different from 5 times 4? How are they alike? Haley, nice and loud.
The numbers didn't change, you just changed their spot.
Okay, so she said they're alike because are they the same numbers?
Yeah.
Okay, but then she told us how they're different. How are they different?
They switched spots.
Yeah, you changed spots, you switched spots, you flip-flopped those factors. Is it going to give us a different answer, a different product?
No.
Or is it going to give us the same product?
Same product.
Because what did we say 5 times 4 equals?
20.
Okay, so if I flip-flop those same exact numbers, what does 4 times 5 equal?
20.
20. Okay, let's look at 4. You multiplied with 5 in a previous lesson. We've learned how to multiply with 5s. So what is the product of the multiplication fact for that turned array? We turned those numbers around to 4 times 5. Write down what the product of 4 times 5 is for number 4. We just talked about it. We said 4 times 5 equals this product. We're on number 4. So friends, 4 times 5 equals what product? 20. So you should have written 20 down for number 4. What is the product for 5 times 4?
20.
It's also 20. Why do they have the same product? Because they're magicians. No? Why do they have the same product then? I'm going to pull a stick. Jenny, why do they have the same product?
Because they have the same numbers, they're just flip-flopped.
What are those numbers called when we're multiplying them?
Factors.
They have the same, what?
Factors.
The factors are,
4 and 5 and 4.
okay, so let's explain that. They have the same what?
Numbers. Factors.
Write it down. They have the same factors. All right, everybody have it?
Yep.
Okay, so now, in those model-its, it asks, how do both model-its try to make the problem 5 times 4 simpler? How do they try to make that problem simpler? What's one of the things they did to try to make it simpler to multiply it?
They split the arrays in half.
Okay, they broke apart the arrays. What were you thinking?
That they would flip the
Oh, they turned the array to make it easier to maybe skip count by 5s. Connor?
I was gonna say they split.
Okay, so those are the two different ways, right? They broke it apart, or they split it apart, or they turned it. Which way was easier for you to see that to help you figure out how to solve it easier? Breaking it apart, or splitting it apart, or turning the array? Write down what way makes more sense to you at this point in time. All right. So what I had you right there, I didn't even look ahead, but that's basically the same thing that number 6 is, about which strategy you liked the best. Okay? All right, so let's...
Lisa, the missing factors goes with the one that has the 20s on it, right?
I'm not sure what you're... Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so let's look at page, there we go, 140. So now, we are going to use that information. Maybe you need to split those apart or break them apart. Or maybe it's easier for you to turn your array on its side. Okay? But what I want you to do, whatever way is easiest for you right now, is to show how to find the product, that means the answer, of 3 times 4 by breaking apart the problem and also by changing the order of the factors. For right now, just show me the easiest way for you to solve this problem though. If it's breaking apart, that's fine. Show me how you would show 3 times 4. Alright, how many of you have that solved? Put your hands on your hips if you are finished with that. You've shown your work, and, whoopsies, and you have written the product. product. Don't forget the product on that line, friends. Oops, I didn't mean to make it smaller or ginormous. Okay, so now, what did you come up with for the product of 3 times 4? Everyone?
12.
So then, friends, what would 4 times 3 be?
12.
It doesn't matter if we change the factors from one side to the other, does it? It's going to have the same product. Okay. They gave you an array. You see it over here? How many rows are there? How many rows are in this array, everyone? 9. How many are in each row? Everyone? 4. Okay, so we have to fill in the blanks, but we need to break that array apart. So what would be the easiest way to break this array apart? Draw a line to break that array apart. Now we're filling in the blanks. So friends, this means that there's always going to be 9 rows. So you have to break your array apart vertically, because we're filling in this information. If you did a horizontal line, that's not going to work with what they're having us do here. Okay, so based on how you drew your line, because not everybody might have done it the same way, you have 9 rows. In your first one that you broke apart, how many are in each of those rows? 2. Write down your digit that you have there that shows, oh, I did that again. Didn't mean to tap it. Okay, did you write that first digit on the line? Okay, then look at the other side that you broke apart. How many are in that row? Write that digit down. I don't know about you, but it's easy for me to skip count by 2s. So I would have, if it were me doing this, I probably would have just split it right down the middle. So then what would my first multiplication expression be over here, friends? 9 times what?
2.
And 9 times what?
2.
Is it easy to skip count by 2s? Or to think of 9 plus 9? It's pretty easy for me. Skip counting by 2s, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18. Or 9 plus 9 is also 18. So 9 times 2 equals?
18.
9 times 2 equals?
18.
Ooh, now, what is 18 plus 18? I could think of it this way. What's 8 plus 8?
16.
What's 20 plus 20? Oh, I said the answer. What's 10 plus 10?
20.
Okay, so I have 20 and then plus 16. That might be a little easier. Adding those together, what does that equal? 36. So 18 plus 18 equals 36. Which means that 9 times 4 equals?
36.
Or 4 times 9 equals?
36.
All right. They're making us think on number 9. Everybody done with that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which expression expressions, that means more than one right answer, can be used to find 8 times 4. Based on things that we have learned, let's look at the repeated addition. Is this the same thing as 8 times 4? How many 4s, excuse me, how many 4s would there have to be across here?
8.
Let's check to see if there are 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If we add 4 together 8 times, is that the same thing as 8 times 4? It is, friends. So those of you that have forgotten might need to start turning your brain on so that you remember these things, so that when we have our next math quiz or test, you're prepared for it. So you can either color it in or circle it. Okay, what about this next one? 8 times 2 plus 8 times 2. Did they break apart the 8? No, they left the 8 alone. Did they break the 4 apart? Okay. Did they correctly break 4 apart? If I have 2 and 2, is that 4? If I put them together? So 8 times 2 plus 8 times 2. Is that correctly written, that expression?
Yes.
They broke 4 apart and they're saying we have to multiply that and then add it back together. Correct or not correct?
Correct.
That is correct. Okay. Look at C. 8 plus 2 plus 8 plus 2. Is that one correct? Why not?
Because
They broke 4 apart. But what did they do wrong?
they added.
They
instead of
added those. That should not be added, should it? What should it be done there? Yeah. So what can we do with this one? We can omit that one. What about 8 times 1 plus 8 times 3? Now we have to leave our rows alone. Those are still 8. But if we have 4, can we break 4 up into 3 and 1? Can we do that? So are they correct here? 8 times 1 plus 8 times 3? Yeah, they just did it a little different. All right, how about this one? 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 times 4. Is that the same as 8 times 4? Or do you think, no, it's not right?
It's not right.
Why do you think it's not right?
Because you have to add the 4s, not the 8.
Oh, exactly. Okay, so what can we do with this one? Omit. Okay, friends, that is the conclusion of our math time. We will continue on with this tomorrow. So make sure that you remember where you put that packet, and we'll continue multiplying with 4s tomorrow.